Well, happy Thursday, folks. Welcome back to Woods North, and welcome back to the back 40 of this farm in my hometown of Charlotte, Vermont here that I've been hunting for the better part of a decade. Bagged pretty much every animal that you can legally harvest in the state of Vermont, and I filmed a few videos here over the years, turkey hunting and squirrel hunting, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. It's getting towards the end of October. It's time for me to film my annual Woods North back 40 squirrel hunt, catch and cook. We've done this now, this will be the third time, so we did it in 23 and 24. 2025 is the trifecta, third time's the charm. About ready to get back in the woods, but we're going to be using this today. This is my Stoeger P3500 chambered in 12 gauge. It's funny, I've used this gun, I used a different 12 gauge in last year's video, and one thing I've noticed, not me personally, but other squirrel hunting videos that I've watched here on YouTube, if whoever's filming is using a shotgun, they usually get a lot of hate in the comments. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have not gotten a single hateful comment about using a shotgun. So I'm thinking maybe my status in the squirrel hunting sphere, I don't have enough clout in order to get hate, so I'm really hoping that changes this time around. We're gonna be shooting these shells. This is the Remington Express XLR. I've used these every year now for the last 2 years. That stands for extra long range. They're number 5 shot. It's a short casing, it's a high brass round, so they hurt, like they pack a punch. And gonna be leaving the tube at about 1,300 feet per second. One thing I will say, if you look right here on the box, Remington actually put a squirrel on the box. So if I'm not supposed to use a shotgun to squirrel hunt, then I really think you should just take it up with Remington. Give them a call, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. But I got a tight schedule here. I don't have a ton of time, and there's some wind moving in. So let's get in the woods. Let's put a hurting on them. Stay tuned. Let's party. One. There's some over here. Let's get 2 or 3 more and call it a day. Number 2. Oh boy. This one's not getting a close up. Oh boy. Ugh. 2 down. There's 3. Where's 4? He's in the stairs. Where are you? I don't know if I have a shot. Certainly try. Yeah, let's do it. That's a limit. Let's go, baby. That's a wrap here on the back 40, folks. I've never timed myself squirrel hunting, but I'm pretty sure that was a record for the fastest I've ever shot a limit of squirrels. It was all said and done in like 20 minutes, which is the exact opposite of last year. Last year, I was behind me up on this hill. I think I walked up the hill 10 or 12 times. This year for 3 or 4 hours. I only managed 3 squirrels last year, so it was pretty fortunate, pretty lucky to come down here and just get a limit of squirrels right off the bat. Maybe it was the magic school bus back there. Changed my luck a little bit. But it was over so fast, I was like, I'll take the camera for a walk, get some B-roll, try to just shoot the rest of these squirrels just with a camera. But it's funny what happens when you show up here and just start immediately blasting every squirrel in the face with a shotgun, that the rest of them don't want to come out and play, even just for the camera. I don't know what's up with that. But it's time to jet. I got these 4 squirrels. We're gonna get them skinned out. I'll go over how we do that here in a minute. And we're gonna get cooking. This is now the 3rd year in a row. This is the trifecta of the Woods North Back 40 Squirrel Hunt Catch and Cook. 2 years ago, we made Nashville Hot Squirrel in the garage. That came out really well. Last year we made squirrel curry in the restaurant. This year I got something up my sleeve. I don't know where I'm gonna cook yet. It's Thursday right now, so I can't really cook at the restaurant. I'm gonna go find someone to let me use their kitchen, and we'll get cooking. Stay tuned. Well, buongiorno, everybody. I found a kitchen. Didn't end up going to the restaurant, as they said, when we were down at the farm. Ended up back at the family compound here in Charlotte, so it wasn't a very far drive. But it's time to get cooking. First of all, those squirrels were cleaned out. I did that at the farm. I did not do that here at the family house. I don't think that'd go over so well. So I don't really know what this technique is called definitively. I've heard it referred to a bunch of different ways. I've heard it called the shirt and pants method, the pants method. But basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a really sharp knife and you're gonna cut just under the skin underneath the tail of the squirrel and get a good like flap of skin. Once you kind of have enough to work with, just put the tail and that flap of skin right under your boot, grab the back legs and pull, and that should pretty much take the shirt off, right? That's gonna pull the hide right off the squirrel. And then you can get in with a sharp knife and work down. Get the hide off the legs as well, off the hindquarters. That's where all that good meat is. Cleaned out all 4 squirrels. We're just gonna cook up like 5 hindquarters here today. I don't need to cook up all 8 hindquarters that came off those 4 squirrels, but they're pretty good. I got them dabbed off in the sink. There was still a little bit of dirt and some dust from the farm there, but they're cleaned up, they're ready to rock. This year, right? I said buongiorno for a reason. We're going Italian this time. And there's a little bit of a background to this too. So as some of you may know that are close to me in my personal life here, just follow me on Instagram. This summer at the end of July, I was invited to be the cameraman and the media guy for a professional basketball team, which is pretty cool. It happens on TV every year, actually. You might have seen it. It's called the Basketball Tournament, or TBT. And this year was the first year that the University of Vermont, my alma mater, had a representation there. So I was the cameraman for the Green Mountain Men. All the players and all the coaching staff We're all UVM alumni, except for one guy, my new friend Jake Marsh. If you're a Barstool fan, you probably know who he is. He was on Pardon My Take for about 5 years. He had a connection to the tournament because he actually called one of the games. He was a broadcaster for some of the games last year. So this year, we were able to get a team together, and it was fortunate enough, we went to Syracuse, New York, just about like a 5 or 6 hour drive on the bus. And Jake actually went to Syracuse, right? So this was like kind of a homecoming for him. And we went out in the town, and we went to this really nice Italian place called Francesca's the first night. And I was sitting right next to him, and he was saying like, all right, like this is what's good here, but he was like, if you want to try this, like this is like a famous Syracuse dish, and it's called chicken Riggies. And so obviously I had to try it. It was okay, but you know, obviously that inspired me to want to make it with squirrel. Chicken Riggies is pretty much just spicy chicken pasta made with rigatoni. That's pretty much it. So we're gonna make squirrel Riggies. So shout out Utica, shout out Syracuse, New York. This one's for you right here. All right, so first things first, I'm just gonna get a small stock pot with some salted water on the stove boiling. That can just kind of go on low heat on the back of the stove, and we're gonna let that rip for a while. First things first, that squirrel that's been cleaned now, I just dabbed it off, got all the water off, got any kind of remaining dust or dirt, grime, hair, anything like that. We're gonna get a pretty large saute pan going here with a little bit of olive oil. I'm just gonna lightly season these squirrel hindquarters with just some sea salt and black pepper, and they're gonna go in the pan. They're gonna go in the hot pan. I'm gonna cover it. These are not big pieces of meat, so this really isn't gonna take a long time. Just give it like 2 or 3 minutes on each side. You know, flip, get a good sear. Pull them out. I'm just gonna leave them on a paper plate right here. And there's gonna be a little bit of residue left over in the pan, but that's actually a good thing. We're gonna get a lot of flavor from that here in a minute. Gonna let the squirrel cool off for a little bit, just on that paper plate. Gonna mince up some fresh garlic. Did not use garlic this time. All right, don't worry. My significant other would not approve of me using garlic for this dish here, but we got that minced up. That's gonna go right into the pan and the hot oil right on top of where that squirrel just cooked. We're gonna let that simmer for a minute. While that's starting to brown up, we're gonna slice up the recipe I'm following right now is actually, there's gonna be a link in the description, but the recipe calls for 2 bell peppers. I just use one. I use 1 red bell pepper, sliced up, just like you would for like a veggie platter or a crudité, as us in the restaurant industry say. Those are gonna go in the pan. Those are gonna cook down for a minute. And the part of this is gonna be spicy, or is gonna be these sweet cherry peppers. I would rather have bought them whole so I can cut them up myself, but Market 32 only had the mild ones whole and they had the hot ones sliced. And if you order chicken Riggies at a restaurant in Syracuse or in Utica, they're gonna ask you if you want it regular, if you want it spicy, and I'm a spice freak, so we're gonna go spicy here. Gonna add that into the pan. We're gonna let the garlic and the bell pepper and the cherry peppers just kind of cook down for a few minutes. Once they start to kind of brown up, once they start to wither a little bit, we're gonna add about maybe like half a cup of just any old white wine here. I love Oyster Bay Sauv Blanc from New Zealand. It is so good. And we're gonna add that here. We're gonna let that cook down for a few minutes. While that's cooking down, I'm gonna take this squirrel that's been cooling now for a few minutes at this point, and I'll just use a fork and my bare hands. We're just gonna pull the meat off the bone there. If you look at the recipe down below, it says that when you pull the chicken thighs out of the pan to like cut them into bite-sized pieces, but obviously there's bones in the squirrel hindquarters, so I'm just gonna use my fingers and I'm gonna use a fork to get all the meat off here. Once that wine's reduced a little bit, pretty much by like half, that's what the recipe says, but just eyeball it. I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 can of crushed tomatoes right here. This is the good stuff from Italy. These crushed plum tomatoes, those are gonna right in the pan as well. And kind of do the same thing that we did with the wine. Let that kind of reduce a little bit. Let it thicken up. And right around this point is when this water should start boiling. We're gonna add this bronze dye rigatoni here. Always, whenever I buy pasta, I always try to make sure it's made in Italy. It's just better. They use better ingredients over there than we do here. So it's a few extra bucks, but trust me, it's worth it. You'll feel better afterwards. It's better for you. We're gonna put that into the boiling water. That's gonna be about 10 to 11 minutes to get al dente, which is perfect because there's not that much more we actually have to do here. So once that tomato and the peppers and the garlic and all that, once that started to reduce, we're gonna add just a little bit of heavy cream. And the recipe I think calls for like half a cup. I'm just, once again, eyeballing this. I've worked in kitchens my whole life, so I don't really measure stuff anymore. We're gonna add that into the mix here. Stir it all up, and it's gonna get pretty thick here pretty quick. But in just a few minutes, right when the pasta's about to be ready, I'm gonna reduce heat on the Riggies portion of this, right? And then I'm gonna add that squirrel meat back, and that's just gonna simmer while the pasta finishes cooking here. I'm gonna use a slotted spoon to get that rigatoni instead of like straining the water, because I actually wanna use some of that water to add to the sauce to thin it out a little bit. So we're just gonna add that rigatoni right into the mix here. And then right at the end, I'm gonna just slosh a little bit of starchy pasta water on top of that and stir it around, and we're gonna cover that and let it simmer for a minute. The last 2 things this dish needs, besides a plate obviously, some freshly grated Romano cheese, which I got here from the store as well. This stuff is not cheap, it's imported from Italy. And some sweet basil. And the recipe specifically says hand-torn or hand-shredded basil. So that's what I did, I didn't use a knife. And to plate it up, we're just gonna do this. You know, I like to kind of like be a snob about kitchen and plating stuff, so we're gonna do that right here as well. So with a warm dish right here, this is kind of like a bowl, kind of like a plate. We're gonna just put a good helping of that squirrel Riggies right in after it's been all mixed together. The rigatoni, the tomatoes, the peppers, the garlic, all that stuff, the squirrel meat, right into the bowl here. And then we're just gonna top it with that grated Romano cheese and some of that freshly hand-torn sweet basil. And I'm not Italian at all, I'm not from upstate New York. This looks pretty damn good. And it looks just like that chicken Riggies that I got at Francesca's those months ago down in Syracuse with the Green Mountain Men. So as is routine, we're gonna use all these fancy tools here that I have, all these all the toys, and we're gonna make this look good. We're gonna give this dish its 15 minutes of fame. We're gonna chow down on some squirrel Riggies. Stay tuned. Hey, cheers to squirrel Riggies. That was pretty damn good. It tasted just like chicken Riggies, I guess, right? You know, because the last 2 times I cooked squirrel on the channel here, in 2023 I made Nashville Hot Squirrel, and in 2024 I made squirrel curry, and I could definitely taste like the actual squirrel, the actual gaminess a little bit more than I did today, which was fine. Like, this was still great. So I will say this, if you're interested in trying squirrel, this is like a great recipe to follow. Kind of ease your way into it instead of just biting right into a hind quarter of a squirrel like a chicken wing. But it was really good. I'll definitely make this again. If I ever release a squirrel cookbook, this will be one of the recipes inside. But I got a pretty big mess here I gotta start cleaning up. And I gotta start heading back into Burlington. The day is getting late here. But if you enjoyed this video, you liked what you saw here, please hit that like button. Maybe even hype the video too, right? That's something I've never asked on the channel before, and it's a new feature. Don't really know what it does, but it's completely free. Hit the hype button, why not, right? And obviously, if you want to see more videos just like this, consider subscribing to the channel as well. Make content all year round. Woods North isn't just squirrel hunting. It's fly fishing, it's ice fishing, deer hunting, wild game cooking, just having fun outside. So if you enjoy any of that stuff, I promise you're in the right place. But it is high time I head back towards town. So until next time, people, as always, be good. My name's Larry. This is Woods North, signing off. Peace.